We'll see how still I can sit and keep this hat on my head. That's the plan for today. Hi, welcome to my sewing room on Friday, September 2nd. I'm Leah. We like to call Friday Fan Mail Friday. Not really doing fan mail today. I'm talking about other things. I can't do it. I can't sit still while I talk. So here we are. Let's carry on. We're at my sewing room. It's Friday. We're coming into a long weekend here in Alberta, which is lots of fun because school's already gone back, and then we get to give the kids a long weekend, and they get to try and do weekend things late at night, and then we have to go back into the school week again next week. If you're in the public system in Calgary. I don't know. I don't know when Calgary Catholic starts or some of the other schools, but maybe they're after the long weekend, which is definitely smarter. So yeah, gorgeous weather this weekend, but I know it's hit September and we're all about starting new projects and finishing things and moving away from our gardens when they stop giving us tomatoes and moving on to doing other things. So I was going to talk about some of the things you might want to check out this fall. First things first, if you like embroidery, we're going to talk a lot of embroidery today. As you may or may not know, I really like to embroider. Maybe that's come across on screen before. This newest 3D creation is a witch's hat from OESD. This will be arriving in store as a design later this month, I think. Should be soon. And we've made it out of felt. We have a giant felt order here as well to get some of those great colors into your hands. There's freestanding lace moons and stars. We don't have the star attached just yet. Chelsea was panic attaching pieces moments ago. But it's got all these little holes in it that we can string fairy lights through so we can light this hat up. And I think if we attach that to a headband, we'll have a pretty adorable little fascinator for Halloween, or a centerpiece for your table. Anyway, if this looks intimidating, it shouldn't. Freestanding applique is lots of fun and not super hard. Maureen says this is the coolest 3D hat yet. You may have noticed every time anything looks like it could be a hat, it ends up on my head. Maybe it's because I'm having a bad hair day. But anyway, if you're nervous about embroidery and you happen to already have an embroidery machine that you're not using very much, end of this month, we have the perfect event for you. We have Tamara Evans from OESD joining us here in Calgary for 3 days of fantastic education. So if you bought a machine and it came with an embroidery module and you've never pulled that embroidery module out of the box, if you've embroidered a long time, if you've just thought, oh, like Leah showed off a really cool hat on September 2nd on Facebook, maybe I want to learn some embroidery. If you fall into any of those categories, we highly encourage you to sign up for one or both events coming up at the end of the month. So the first one is Embroidery Essentials, which is a one-day lecture demo. The class fee is $75. Happening on a Thursday. You get to come hang out with other people who think embroidery is cool. There's a goodie bag worth over $200 coming in that class with all sorts of good things and some cool stuff that the only way you're going to get your hands on it is through that event. Tamara is going to give us so much information on embroidery, and you'll get to sit in store with like-minded people again. So we're pleased to have her joining us for that. And then if you want to actually give it a try and make some things, Stitching in the Kitchen is happening September 30th and October 1st. In store, we can set up machines if you don't own one. Say if you have a machine like a 7 series that could embroider that you never got the embroidery module for, we could just get you an embroidery module. And we have some pre-loved embroidery modules from the first generation for the 7 and 8 series. And with those, pretty much the event price on those modules, if you decide to take one, the event cost will come right off the top. So instead of being $1,300 for the module and $249 for the class, those used modules will be like $1,050 instead of $1,300. and you've got the class. It'll be great. There is limited seating. The kits are ordered. They are in transit as of probably this afternoon. So kits are on their way. There is only so many, but not being recorded. You will have to join us here in store for all 3 of those days. If you've ever wanted to meet the lovely Adrienne Gallagher in person from Burning in Canada, she will also be here for Stitching in the Kitchen. And we love Adrienne, so her and Tamara play super nicely together, and they'll be a dynamic duo along with our education team here in store, getting everybody who has never embroidered or embroidered just a little bit over those first few hurdles. So that's some of the embroidery I wanted to talk about. Other things, same thing. Like if you want to make a spooky shack hat, all of those things are OESD. All the things that you would need to make this, including stabilizer, thread, design CD, tools. We are into our holiday celebrations promotion, which will run for the next 3 months. Well, technically till the end of November, not 3 complete months, because we're on the 2nd already today. But the OESD promotion for that is spend $89 Canadian in our store on anything from OESD, including isocord thread, stabilizer, tools, design CDs from OESD and scissor tail stitches, Yenmet thread, Luxe sparkle vinyl, blanks, any of those things that you might need to embroider over the next little bit. And you will get the free design for each month for free. You get to do that 3 times to get all 3 CDs. This month's CD is cards. So we are doing a price increase on isocord thread and stabilizer. Will be happening Tuesday. So you have all weekend to shop online at mysewingroom.ca to get current pricing before we have to input that price increase. We never like price increases, but it is the way of the world. So we're giving you a few more days to get those things under your belt. So yeah, that's OESD. Big picture OESD. We're very excited about that. But other things you might want to try coming up. I know we still have a spot left in our Tools of the Trade class, and part of the Tools of the Trade bag that we're making in that class needs to be quilted. So I wanted to just touch base on some of the tools you have that we have available to you to make quilting way easier. So if you've done walking foot quilting, cool. It's a great place to start. Sometimes you want something a little fancier, and there's many ways of doing that. We have our long arming service here in store where we could long arm fabric for you. You could come and rent the long arm if you've taken the renter certification. But maybe you have tools at home that would help you quilt that you would like to try. So on your Berninas, do you have a Bernina stitch regulator? You could quilt your fabric with that. Do you have a module to go with your sewing machine? Are you looking for a reason? Thread collection's also on that OESD special. Yes. Do you have a module that doesn't get any use because you're like, well, I don't want to make silly hats or spooky haunted houses. That's not my kind of embroidery. Maybe you have quilt tops that need quilting and you really like perfection. Maybe that's what you've got. We have a few different ways. I'm going to move this around here for a second. Do this from the top. So this one isn't completely finished. But maybe you have a quilt top that you want some fancy quilting, but you just don't have the skills to make perfect spirals yet in free motion quilting. But you want very accurate, precise quilting, symmetrical, fits your space, fits your borders. There's tools to help you do that really easily. And the one I used on this particular sample is Kimber Bell's Clear Blue Tiles. So what clear blue tiles are, I'm going to shimmy this out of the box if I can. There we go. Clear blue tiles are a design and marking system. So what these allow you to do is figure out what size of quilting will fit where on your project. And there's a bunch of sizes of tiles and a whole ton of embroidery designs to coordinate with them when you buy the clear blue tile set. But we can start laying out, oops, these are all kind of too big. You can lay out your clear blue tiles on top of your quilt and figure out what size of quilting will fit both your hoop and your project. And then everything is scaled to fit. So it doesn't just get bigger and bigger and bigger. If you go to a bigger hoop, it fills in the quilting as you go. So there comes with a fabulous little blue marking pen where you can mark out your quilt. Makes it very, very, very easy to get your hoop centered on here and hoop just this section or just this section, or move around and quilt smaller sections. So clear blue tiles comes with designs, comes with all the great blue tiles to mark out your space, however big it is. So depending on what you've got for machine, if you've got a 5x7 hoop, you might need to do more passes across your quilt. But this is a 3x7 border, which would fit in a 5x7 hoop. So great for little projects if you want that accuracy. And really the quilting in here, this took about 2 minutes of stitching time to do the bees up in this corner. Not very long, not very time intensive, but very, very accurate, which I really appreciate. When you put time into making a really cute little wall hanging or a table runner, it's a really tidy way of finishing your project. So clear blue tiles is one option for taking that machine and module combination that you've got to the next level. I have to put that all back in the bag before I drop things. We'll work on getting some videos recorded all the way through with this. Kimberbell has some really great videos as well already, but there's a great instruction booklet in there too. So clear blue tiles, if you run out of designs and you want more sizes, there's also the expansion set, which has bigger tiles. So if you've got a machine with a much bigger hoop, getting the expansion pack will give you more space to work in that bigger hoop that you have. So clear blue tiles, really precise way to quilt things. You could quilt the pieces you need for the tools of the trade class this way. If you're playing along with our mystery quilts, Patchwork in Paradise, you could quilt your mystery quilt this way later on. You tie it all together. So clear blue tiles, really, really cool. Next one in the mix. We've had Emily Scott Designs edge-to-edge quilting in the hoop designs available for a number of years around here. She's got a new Edge-to-Edge Pro book that comes with editable size designs and a software package that will let you edit those out to fit exactly however big your project is. So let me just unhoop. We'll talk about the hoops in a moment. Talk about hoops in a moment. That's the next conversation here. So this lovely little project, Chelsea and I did this Monday in the early August, watching along with Emily Scott's Edge-to-Edge Pro class for dealers. And it talked all about how to figure out how big the space in your quilt is so you get nice sized repeats and you don't stretch and skew the design or get too many stitches or not enough stitches when you scale things up or down. It's a really slick little program. Marking it just with iron off marker was all we did. But we made the table runner and quilted it in about 3 hours. It was a quick project. Very, very nice. It was lots of fun to use the variegated thread. And there's some really nice designs in here too, along with workbooks. So Edge-to-Edge Pro arrived in store in just the last couple days. So, but you might be wondering, what are you doing when you have a quilt top like this? How do you make that all fit and not fight to hoop it? Because you may be struggling to hoop things when you go to use your embroidery module. or your quilting module. You could call it a quilting module, not an embroidery module. You're quilting with it. Your quilting module. That's where some of the new hoops that are coming out come in handy for you. So this hoop that I have here is a hoop that's been out a little while because I don't have any of the new hoops here yet. This is the 7x14 sash frame for the Brother Luminaire. And what I really like about this hoop is how easy it is to hoop something bulky like this quilt top and hoop it square and straight. So with this, I can essentially feel where the inside edge of this hoop is and place my magnets down so easily. And our backing was a little bit bigger when we started this project. We trimmed it back a little bit. Oop, that's the wrong way for that one. But all of that, oop, one more magnet. All of that is held in place and we can quilt just in there. So the one thing we found over the last little while with this particular hoop is that every once in a while, you don't have a long skinny rectangle that you want to quilt when you're using a Brother. Sometimes you have a big square thing you want to quilt, like the entire quilt block in the middle. So there's a new version of a magnetic hoop coming from Brother for the Luminaire specifically, which is a 10x10 square hoop. Super excited to have that coming in store shortly. Not shortly, it's coming in November. We do have pre-order pricing on that. It will be listed in tonight's email newsletter. Might not be in the e-news. Might be through when you click through the link to Brother products that are on sale. New hoop is coming. It's going to be lovely. And if you don't have a Luminaire, not everybody out there does. There's also a new magnetic hoop coming for the NS series machines. It's a 4x7, so it's small compared to this. 7x4 will be about yay big. That one's coming on later on this year as well. So we'll have more information about that hoop later on. If you live in the land where you don't own a Brother embroidery machine, there's also a new hoop coming from Bernina. Works a little bit different. This is magnetic, but the magnets are strong enough that there's pacemaker warnings on them. So do consult your doctor if that's something you have. So the Bernina hoop, very similar functionality where it's a hoop underneath and things to hold on. But the Bernina is clamps, so multiple clamps all the way around. And the new Bernina clamp hoop will be coming out later this month, I think. Pretty sure it's later this month. We extended the pre-order pricing on the Bernina hoops. So if you'd rather have the 8.5x8.5 Bernina hoop, that's also an option. So there's new hoops coming for both brands, and we would like to get you whichever one you want, but all of the new hoops that are coming out really designed for things like quilting, to make it super duper easy to move your quilt over and quilt the next section, because this was not a fight to hoop this. This was drop a whole bunch of magnets on it and I'm ready to go. So that is, oh, I don't want to bend Chelsea's adorable little sign. There we go. So yeah, quilting that way. So Emily Scott, clear blue tiles, all well and good. Other things hanging out behind me. There's fabric. There's always fabric. There's so much fabric. We have a small problem where we've had a lot of fabric come in, and it's been summer, and you guys have not been sewing. You've been out gardening and camping and biking and visiting grandkids, and I don't know what else people did this summer. Traveled. You escaped. You left the country. Whatever you did. We have too much fabric. If you want to come in and see all the new stuff, I highly recommend it. There's lots of goodies. The Halloween themed collection in behind me is called Bodacious. I think we've shown this on Facebook before. If you're a Halloween fan, this would make a really cute Tools of the Trade bag with some pink mesh, maybe some black fold over elastic. Would be wild. Be so wild. It'd be so much fun. And then fabrics hiding underneath. Chelsea made this display really hard to take apart. This fabric underneath, the almost, it is like a very subtle plaid, is a new legging weight knit. So it's a heavy knit, something you'd find in your leggings, or dressier leggings than athletic leggings probably, but we've got it in black as well. The name is called Royce, Royce. Very excited to have that here in store to add to our clothing sewing options, because who doesn't need leggings that actually fit? Carol says the new gorgeous woven and knits that you have make my life very dangerous. They're making my life dangerous too. I figured out what I'm making with the corduroy earlier today. so now I just need to like actually not do all the summer things like garden and ride my bike and go home and sew all weekend, which sounds pretty awesome. But that's here as well. The green is a crepe, but I don't remember its name right now. I'd have to look. Jubilee 2 is the crepe, and it would make a really lovely skirt, lovely dress. It's very soft and scrumptious. It's not quite as lightweight as the double gauze, so it would work better for bottom weight, lightweight wovens. It could make nice flowy dress pants if you wanted something swooshy. Not sure swooshy is a word, but it is now. So those are some of the things we have here. Again, if you have a machine that can embroider, means you can quilt with it. If quilting is your preferred avenue to use that, but we'd love to get you the information you need to do that easily and smoothly. And I think through that very wild array of things through the store today, I feel like my hat is a description of how my life has been. Not quite linear, but somewhat today. You can stop in and we'll help you find whatever you need. We'd love to have you join us in any of our upcoming classes, and definitely watch our e-news as we get the rest of our fall education schedule posted and released for you. So have a wild weekend. Enjoy the summer-y weather we're having in Calgary. And we will talk with you next week. Probably Monday, no promises. Long weekend Mondays, we have been doing garden tours at Anne's house, and her garden is always wildly different every time we visit. So potential garden tour on Monday. I'll poke her and remind her. And then we'll be back to regularly scheduled live programming, Facebook and YouTube, Tuesday through Friday next week. If you enjoyed today's video, hit the like button, comment, share the video with anybody you know who is afraid of their embroidery machine. Come join us for Stitching in the Kitchen or Embroidery Essentials, or subscribe on YouTube, all those good things. You'll get lots of info from us. So we look forward to seeing you in classes